I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine and colleague I've worked with for many years, Peter Graham. I've worked with him regarding RFF and the World Culture Association, which he founded, and he's doing a lot of great work in the Congo, where there's so much suffering and difficulties. I think we'll need to mention that later on.
I wanted to explain about Africa now, and the center of Africa is the Congo. There is a certain African guy, his name is Ben. His actually name is much longer. It's Nzanzu Sasita Bienvenue, so Ben is easier to handle. He grew up in Goma City, and then at some stage, I think he was about 19, he was actually kidnapped, because the situation there is of constantly terrorists are coming in, rebel groups are coming in to take control of the goods in Africa. Goma City in Congo is right by the border, and people come over to take over the gold mines and everything. He was kidnapped and held prisoner by rebel forces who made him call his uncle, and then they tortured him on the phone to his uncle, which is the way they twist the arms of the relatives. And the uncle said, yes, anything, and sold his farm and actually gave all that money, and Ben was rescued. And then he just wanted to do something for others. And at the time there are, and there still are, and this is the point where I want to continue, is the continuum here, of children who were just abandoned in the communities because their communities are forced out. You see in the news, 10,000 people have been pushed out, but when they are, their children are abandoned, children left behind. He saw this and he organized some volunteers to actually collect them and make sure that they really have no parents, and they didn't. And these orphans he gathered in a home for children, which is Hope for Children home, just a shack. And then at that point I met him online, and I just started the WCA. So it's quite a vague idea, but anyway, I was sort of had that organization somehow a structure, and then Ben told me about his situation. So I said, well, we'll help you, and you can be part of us as an identity, whatever you want. And he connected with that, with being part of that. And he created with a few others, of course, he wasn't alone. When he said, we want to do this project, I raised some money for it. I raised some money for it, with incredible help from RFF as well. And I want to give big thanks to Eddie Hartley for his constant support and constant goodwill and good heart. And so what happened was that we built something up, and then suddenly they made the T-shirts with WCA, and suddenly they had banners, and they had a big meeting and lots of things. So they found an identity, and they got together other volunteers. And now there's a group of about 12 of them. And they have taken responsibility for several hundred orphans. But the situation has been very difficult the last year, because there was a volcano last year which blew the house away, and they had to leave in the middle of the night. When they came back, now they found foster parents, foster homes. But at the same time, he had another project which is really doing good work for the women victims of the war. And these are ladies who are, you know how they're mistreated. And when that happens to them, they're abandoned by their families because they're ashamed on the family. And so they run, they're on the run, they're even hunted to kill them. And they ended up in Goma, and Ben and a few others, they started a project to bring them in and train them on a sewing machine and give them a sewing machine to be able to do their own little business. So these are all little seeds which were being started, which now have to be on hold because of the volcano, and because now, a couple of months ago, the war erupted again. And so the foster homes are really struggling. We have to send them food every month to help they're temporary only. But yesterday I had the report that the children are okay. They're in quite a safe area, but they need support, they need help. And the plan for the women to really rescue them is something which we want to develop. There are a lot of them because of the new wars that have happened, but they seem to be fading a little bit now. Now I'd like to show you a video which is about the achievements that Ben and the volunteers have made for over the last 2 years, and you can meet him as well. Then it ends up at Christmas last year, where they have a lovely Christmas celebration and can sing you a Christmas song. This Christmas is different, really, because it's just been flattened. But they're not giving up. They are not giving up. And I decided to join them in that. So I hope you like this one.
Hard times in the north, hard times in the south, hard times in the east and west. When we ever gonna get out? Hard times in the night, hard times in the day. Always get you high and never let you get away. Hard times when you're in and when you're out. Hard times when you're sitting still or when you're running about. Hard times when you sleep while you're away. Bad times everywhere you look.
Hello, my name is Bienvenue Ben. I'm calling from Goma in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm the coordinator of Hope for the Children Center, a center which accommodates and feeds the orphaned children victims of the war. I hope that you receive news from the media about the situation here. The first victims of war in our area are the children and the women. Many children are living in very poor conditions, abandoned without any ancestors and education. We are taking care of 120 children. The half live in the welcoming families, and the others are living in the center. We thank you so much for all the support you've given so far, and we appreciate it so much.
You are the light that shines on me.
Mwisa aliweza na 63%. 70%. Mbona unashtuka? Alage bali. Alishtuka tu sana. Félicitations. Félicitations, 60%. Deixa eu deixar mais breve. Ok,
My ship was lost far from shore, plunged into darkness as thunder roared. Oh, the night engulfing in its doom. This is the world, and we are its people, living in the same space. Fathers and mothers, sisters and
brothers.
Change is gonna come. It's the only thing we want. The best thing I could find. With emptiness and hatred left behind. Change, it's sure gonna.
Well, thanks for that. I'm really happy to be able to share it with you. And so they're all activated. And if you feel like you could give a regular donation, we would really be amazed by that, or anything at all. But like I said, we are one. We have a universal spirit. Doesn't matter what color we are. Doesn't matter what we think divides us. Let's go forward with peace and love and truth and happiness. So I want to end here. Thank you very much.
Is to be with you. Share my world, giving everything to you. Tenderly share your mind.